Wait, 600 times? No way. That was me, literally dropping my phone this morning when I saw the chart update. I mean, imagine just checking Spotify like it's a normal day, and then boom, Jimin again making history. But not just history. This is something no other artist has ever done before. Let's get real here. 600 number one spots on Spotify Korea's daily top songs chart. That's not just a flex. That's not just impressive. That is unheard of. And it didn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistency, talent, connection, and something that goes way beyond the music itself. Let's talk about the song at the center of this record. Who? It's the title track from Jimin's second solo album, Muse. Since the day it was released, it went straight to number one, and it hasn't moved since. We're talking 296 consecutive days at the top. Almost a full year without a single drop in momentum. No flashy promotions, no constant TV appearances, no gimmicks. Just a song, a voice, and a story that clearly resonated with millions. And here's what makes it even more powerful. This isn't the first time Jimin's done this. Before Who, we had Like Crazy from his debut album Face, which held the top spot for 268 days. And alongside those, Set Me Free Pint 2, Angel Pint 1, and even the English version of Like Crazy. All of them reaching number one. Not one-hit luck, not a trend. This is a pattern of pure dominance. Now take a second to really think about this. Jimin has spent 600 days at number one with just 5 solo songs. For comparison, BTS, the group that introduced him to the world, holds the second highest number of number ones on that same chart. And their total? 152. Jimin's solo career has quadrupled that. Let that sink in. And he's not just breaking records for songs. As of May 11th, Jimin also reached 650 number one ends on Spotify, Korea's daily top artist chart. That's another historic first. He's held the top artist spot for nearly 2 full years, ever since his OST With You dropped in 2022. We're at over 1,000 days now of Jimin charting as a top soloist. That's not a wave, that's a movement. And you want more proof of how deep this goes? Let's talk streams. Who recently became the most streamed song in the history of Spotify Korea. It broke 50 million back in March. Now, over 57 million streams, and still rising. That's not just popularity, that's emotional impact. Because numbers like that don't happen unless the music is doing something real to people. Unless it's healing something, echoing something, holding on to something we didn't even know we needed to let out. Jimin's music has this way of slipping past all the noise and going straight to the heart. It's vulnerable, it's raw, it's poetic without trying too hard. And when he sings, whether it's about freedom, confusion, heartbreak, or finding yourself, you feel it. He's not just a pop star, he's a storyteller. And I think that's the reason behind all these records. Not just because the songs are good, but because they mean something to all of us, in different ways. It's almost funny, isn't it? How someone can be so quiet, so humble, so soft-spoken, and still shake the entire industry with the weight of their voice. That's Jimin. So if you ever needed a reminder that slow, steady, emotional artistry still wins in a world that moves too fast, this is it. And honestly, it gives me hope. Let me know in the comments, what did Who mean to you when you first heard it? Was it comfort, a memory, a turning point? And what do you think keeps Jimin at the top? Not just of charts, but of hearts? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and send this to someone who needs to hear the power of what quiet strength can do. I'll see you in the next one.